Welcome to Eerie Shadows, the chilling haven where nightmares become reality. Step into the realm where darkness prevails and terror lurks at every corner. Brace yourself for a bone-chilling journey through the realms of the unknown as we unearth spine-tingling tales and chilling tapes that will send shivers down your spine. But before we delve into this terrifying realm, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any single bone-chilling episode of horror, suspense, and the unknown. But remember, once you enter the world of Eerie Shadows, there's no coming back. So, let's get started. This story unfolds in August of 2013, deep within the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest. My father, a seasoned logger operating a tree saw, found himself amidst an unsettling and dangerous situation. Working long hours, often alone, he and his coworker, Rennie, were assigned to a new job site that would unravel into a chilling ordeal. The logging crew operated based on output, paid for the number of trees felled, leading my dad to work grueling 16 to 20-hour days. Communication with Rennie during collaborative tasks was conducted via radios. This routine took a sinister turn when they began hearing strange chatter over the radios, unintelligible at first but growing clearer as they progressed deeper into the mountains. 10 days into their assignment, they discovered signs of an unwelcome presence. Weird containers and evidence of human activity in a secluded area raised concerns. As they ventured further, the disturbing radio conversations became more audible, indicating that they were not alone. One day, Rennie stumbled upon a tent, and inside, they found a lone sleeping bag with a duffel bag containing disturbing items, numerous pairs of children's underwear, a rope, duct tape, and unsettling sketches of children. This discovery left them on edge, aware that they were now in the company of someone deeply disturbed. Despite the unnerving find, my dad insisted on completing the job before leaving, and they decided to limit radio communication to emergencies. In range of the mysterious individuals, they overheard conversations about collecting water and wood for a fire, realizing that the tent they found was undoubtedly occupied by them. One night, my dad was woken by Rennie, who urgently whispered that someone was outside. In a tense moment, they heard shuffling feet and a jiggling doorknob. After a prolonged period of scratching, my dad decided to investigate. As he approached the door, he was suddenly attacked, suffering a deep cut from his right eye to his left cheek. A struggle ensued, with Rennie managing to fend off the attackers. The assailants fled, leaving my dad injured and traumatized. They rushed to the nearest hospital to treat his wounds and reported the terrifying events to the police. The duo quit their logging jobs, and 2 weeks later, as the crew finished the job, one member was found murdered. To this day, my dad bears the physical and psychological scars of that night. The sight in his right eye is severely impaired, resembling a cat's eye, and he battles PTSD, haunted by the silent horrors that unfolded deep within the wilderness. In the aftermath of the incident, an investigation was launched by the authorities. The police discovered that the area where my father and Rennie had been working was frequented by a group of individuals involved in criminal activities, including child trafficking. The tent they found belonged to one of the perpetrators, who had been using the remote location to carry out their sinister operations. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community, and efforts were made to increase security and surveillance in the surrounding forests. It was a wake-up call for both the logging industry and law enforcement agencies, highlighting the need for greater awareness and protection in these remote work environments. As news of the incident spread, it served as a cautionary tale for other loggers and outdoor workers, reminding them of the potential dangers that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly peaceful natural settings. Safety protocols were revised, and logging companies implemented stricter measures to ensure the well-being of their employees. For my father, the incident marked a turning point in his life. He dedicated himself to raising awareness about the importance of safety in the workplace and supporting survivors of trauma. Despite the ongoing challenges he faces, he remains resilient, using his own experiences to empower others and advocate for change. The story of my father's harrowing encounter serves as a chilling reminder that danger can be found even in the most serene and secluded corners of the world. It is a reminder to always remain vigilant, to trust our instincts, and to prioritize safety above all else. The wilderness may be a place of beauty and tranquility, but it can also hide the darkest of secrets. This incident took place in August of 2013 when I, a 21-year-old girl, embarked on a camping adventure in far north Queensland, Australia. It was an exciting opportunity to explore the wilderness with my two friends, Oliver and Henrik, who were backpacking pals from Estonia. Our destination was Barren Falls, a location northwest of Cairns known for its natural beauty. However, instead of choosing an official campsite, we decided to venture off the beaten path, seeking a more secluded and adventurous experience. To reach our chosen spot, we embarked on a challenging journey. We followed the tourist trail initially, but as we craved a more unique camping experience, we took a detour. Scaling a railing, we found ourselves following a train track for several kilometers, which eventually led us into a dense forest downhill to the river. The ruggedness of the terrain and the absence of mobile phone service added to the sense of isolation we felt. Finally, we arrived at our destination, Barren Falls. Surrounded by a lush tropical forest, we marveled at the breathtaking waterfall just a short walk upstream from our campsite. It was a picture-perfect location to immerse ourselves in nature's embrace. While Oliver and Henrik wasted no time plunging into the water from the cliff, displaying their adventurous spirits, I, being a bit afraid of heights, chose to observe their antics from a safe distance. I returned to our campsite, settling down with a book and allowing myself to be captivated by the serene beauty of the surroundings. However, the tranquility of the day took an unexpected turn when, out of nowhere, a deep and sinister laughter pierced the air, emanating from the forest surrounding our campsite. Instantly, a wave of alarm washed over me, sending chills down my spine. I scanned the dense foliage, desperately trying to locate the source of the ominous laughter. Part of me wanted to dismiss it as my mind playing tricks on me, but the intensity of the laughter made it difficult to ignore. When Oliver and Henrik finally returned, their faces filled with excitement, they revealed that they had forgotten to bring fire lighters for the campfire. They needed to travel to the nearest store to purchase some. Although I felt uncomfortable about staying alone at the campsite, I chose not to mention the eerie laughter to my friends. I didn't want to come across as foolish or fearful, especially with my growing crush on Henrik. They assured me that everything would be fine and promised to return before dark, leaving me alone as dusk began to settle. As I tried to immerse myself in my book once again, the realization slowly dawned on me that they would be gone for over an hour, leaving me alone in a remote area as darkness crept in. Time seemed to move agonizingly slow, and approximately an hour later, I heard footsteps coming from the forest. My initial thought was that Oliver and Henrik had returned, but as I strained to listen for their voices, doubt lingered. The footsteps seemed different somehow. And then, the laughter returned, deeper and more sinister, echoing through the air, and it felt much closer this time. Fear gripped me, and I instinctively sprang to my feet, my eyes scanning the forest until they landed on a peculiar sight. On the other side of the stream stood a man, perched upon a log. He was dressed in an immaculate tuxedo, complete with a top hat. The sight of such formal attire amidst the wilderness was bizarre and unnerving. I couldn't fathom how he had managed to reach this remote area, clad in such an outfit. As I observed the man, his face came into view, revealing severe burns and deep scarring. His wiry, unkempt hair cascaded down to his shoulders, adding to the air of strangeness that surrounded him. His laughter continued to emanate from him, freezing me in place. Our eyes locked, and a strange mix of curiosity and fear washed over me as he spoke, asking why I was alone at the campsite. Summoning all my courage, I calmly explained that I was camping with my friends, who had gone to buy supplies from the nearby store. The man laughed again, his voice carrying an unsettling edge as he inquired about how long we planned to stay. Sensing the need to protect myself, I lied, stating that we would be leaving the next day, hoping it would deter him from any ill intentions. It seemed that he wanted to provoke a reaction or make me panic, but I remained composed, engaging in what appeared to be a standard conversation. I attempted to understand his motives, but his responses only added to the confusion. He claimed to have seen someone else camping upstream and abruptly decided to check on them. With that, he disappeared into the forest, leaving me with a mixture of relief and lingering unease. Moments later, Oliver and Henrik returned, their arrival bringing a sense of security. I wasted no time recounting the encounter with the man in the tuxedo, and despite their initial skepticism, they soon realized the seriousness of my demeanor. Henrik, in particular, took my experience seriously and insisted that I sleep between them for the next 2 nights to ensure my safety and peace of mind. Those nights were restless for me, plagued by a constant vigilance, and my ears strained to catch any hint of the laughter that had so deeply unsettled me. But to my relief, the laughter never returned. The remainder of our camping trip passed without incident, and we eventually packed up our belongings and returned home. In the years that followed, I found solace in other forms of outdoor activities that didn't involve overnight stays. Hiking became my go-to activity, allowing me to enjoy the beauty of nature while maintaining a sense of security in the daylight. I cherished the thrill of exploration, the crisp air filling my lungs, and the sights that unfolded before me. However, the thought of setting up camp and spending the night in the wilderness alone remained a lingering fear, an echo of the chilling encounter at Barren Falls. I often found myself reflecting on that fateful day and the mysterious man in the tuxedo. I wondered about his intentions, his presence in such an isolated place, and what could have happened if Oliver and Henrik hadn't returned when they did. It was a haunting experience that left an indelible mark on my psyche. Despite my curiosity, extensive searches for similar encounters online yielded no results. It seemed that the man in the tuxedo was an enigma, a solitary figure whose presence remained confined to that isolated moment in time. It was as if he had emerged from the depths of the forest only to disappear just as mysteriously. To this day, I haven't mustered the courage to go camping again. The fear of encountering something inexplicable and unsettling lingers within me, urging me to choose alternative outdoor activities. Perhaps one day, with the passage of time and the support of trusted companions, I will find the strength to venture back into the realm of camping. But for now, the memory of the man in the tuxedo at Barren Falls stands as a cautionary tale, a reminder to always be vigilant and aware of the unknown that may lurk in the wilderness. My family owns some cottages in Washington that all of us like to stay in sometimes or have family get-togethers there, but for this trip, I was going solo. I had just turned 20, and I'd never been camping alone. I figured camping somewhere near the cottages would be perfect in case something were to happen. I drove an hour there, then walked 30 minutes down a trail that led to the cottage I would be staying by. As I approached it, I noticed one of the windows was missing. There was no glass on the ground. It looked like the entire window had just been taken out, which was a very unexpected thing to see. I didn't plan on entering the cottage, but I had brought the key for emergencies, and this felt like something I should investigate. I was even more confused when the door opened without me unlocking it. I walked in, and right away, it was obvious that the place had been broken into. There were muddy footprints all over the floors, and some more expensive items were missing. It was unfortunate to see, but there was no way of knowing how long ago it all happened. From what I knew, it had been months since anyone was at the cottages, and even then, they may not have come to this particular cottage. I tried to lock up the place as best I could and set out to find a spot to camp. I had no service, but I didn't feel it was absolutely necessary to let my family know right away or even to call the police yet. I walked 30 minutes down the hill from the cottage and found a flat enough spot to set up. Rain started pouring down, and being new to this, it took me a couple of hours to get everything set up the right way. Already being soaked, I sat outside on a nearby log under a tree and started eating some pre-packaged food. Out of nowhere, I started hearing someone talking. I immediately spotted a man walking behind me. He was drenched, walking up the hill toward the direction of the cottage and didn't seem to have noticed me. The way he was speaking was really weird because it made no sense, and he was obviously talking to himself. Soon, he walked out of sight, but something about seeing that gave me chills. An hour went by, and I took a quick hike back up to the cottage to see if he was maybe staying there. But from afar, it still looked empty, so I went back. Once it was night, I used a fire kit to start a small campfire and used it to heat up some of my food. The rain made it difficult, but once the fire was going, it stayed out pretty well. Not long into it, I heard footsteps coming from up the hill. I stared at the trees, seeing nothing but pitch black beyond the reach of my campfire. They continued walking until a man came into sight. I couldn't see much of him, but he looked similar to the man I'd seen earlier. "Hey, what do you want?" I yelled, trying to scare him off. He stopped and stared at me with a blank face, rain dripping from his head as he just stood there. I yelled again, but he didn't move. We were standing just 10 feet from each other, and every second made me more and more scared of what was about to happen. Then, through the rain, I heard the sound of a single footstep behind me. I instantly sprinted to the side of the hill and didn't stop until my legs gave out under me. I don't think they chased me, but with the rain and wind, it was too hard for me to hear while running. I found my way up the hill and walked the rest of the way to my car in the rain with only my phone light. Once I got in range, I called 911. In the days following, a team was sent out to investigate the cottage and my campsite. My campsite was gone, left with only a few useless pieces of equipment. But in the cottage, they identified 3 unique shoe prints on the floor. It had me shaking for weeks, knowing that there were 3 unknown men out there, hiding not far away. Nothing else was found, and it was all said to most likely just be a robbery because they didn't chase me. But who knows what they would have done to me if I had stayed there. Over the next few months, the incident haunted me. I couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more to it than a simple robbery. The mysterious behavior of the men, the missing window, and the fact that they didn't pursue me raised questions in my mind. I decided to do some digging of my own, determined to uncover the truth. I delved into local news archives and discovered a series of unsolved disappearances and strange occurrences in the area surrounding the cottages. People have reported unexplained sightings, eerie noises, and even claims of encountering shadowy figures lurking in the woods. The incidents dated back several years, and the accounts shared eerie similarities to what I had experienced. Driven by a mix of curiosity and a desire for closure, I reached out to some of the individuals who had shared their stories online. I connected with a woman named Sarah, whose family had encountered similar unexplained events during their stay at one of the cottages. Sarah was hesitant at first, but the more we talked, the more she realized that our experiences were eerily alike. Together, we decided to investigate further, determined to uncover the truth behind the strange occurrences in the area. We reached out to local historians, interviewed residents, and even consulted paranormal investigators. The more we dug, the more we discovered a dark history surrounding the land where the cottages were located. Legend had it that the land was cursed by an ancient tribe that had once inhabited the area. The tribe's sacred grounds were disturbed, leading to a series of tragedies and misfortunes. The curse was said to manifest in various forms, causing eerie phenomena and attracting troubled souls to the vicinity. As Sarah and I delved deeper into the history, we uncovered a forgotten legend about a group of 3 outcasts who were banished from the tribe centuries ago. These outcasts were rumored to have delved into dark magic and had become twisted and malevolent beings. It was believed that their spirits lingered, seeking vengeance and causing havoc in the present day. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Sarah and I decided to confront the spirits directly. We gathered a team of paranormal experts, equipped ourselves with protective artifacts, and ventured back to the cottages. The atmosphere was heavy with anticipation as we stepped onto the cursed land. As we explored the area, we encountered chilling paranormal phenomena, disembodied voices, cold spots, and even fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures. But we pressed on, determined to communicate with the spirits and bring an end to the curse. Through a series of intense paranormal investigations, we made contact with the spirits. They revealed their tragic story, their anguish and resentment fueling their spectral existence. They had been wronged by the tribe and sought revenge against anyone who trespassed on their sacred land. Sarah and I, empathizing with their pain, pleaded for mercy and forgiveness. We offered prayers and performed cleansing rituals to appease the spirits. Slowly, their malevolence began to subside, and an atmosphere of peace settled upon the cottages. In the aftermath of our efforts, news of the paranormal investigation spread, drawing the attention of historians, researchers, and thrill seekers from all over. The cottages became a hub for paranormal enthusiasts who sought to experience the haunted legends for themselves. As for Sarah and me, our lives were forever changed by the experience. We became advocates for the preservation of the cottages and the surrounding land, working with local authorities to establish a cultural heritage site that would honor the history and spiritual significance of the area. Our journey had taught us the power of empathy, the resilience of the human spirit, and the importance of confronting the shadows that lurk within our own lives. And so, the cottages in Washington became more than just a family retreat. They became a place where history and legend intertwined, where the past and present converged, and where the courage of 2 individuals brought light to the darkest corners of the human experience. The legacy of our investigation lives on, reminding us that sometimes the most profound stories are found in the most unexpected places.